Hi, this is Frank here. Hope you're doing well. This video is really for conservative car buyers, and it speaks to the question of should I buy brand new or used? What's the best deal? Well, if you listen to Dave Ramsey or Suzy Orman, for example, they'll tell you that you're better off buying used. It's a better deal. But because this is really designed for the conservative spender, if you're the sort of person who's thinking about buying a car, new or used, and you just don't really, I just want what I want sort of attitude. I want, a half ton or 3/4 ton Ram 4x4 with 4 doors, and I'm going to have to pay that price. This video is probably not for you. This video is more for the conservative Spencer who wants to reduce their liability and take less risk by buying. And so I'll run this my 50% rule past you, and you see what you think, do your own research, follow up on it, and you'll come to your own conclusion. But I think it may be in line with what I'm thinking. So if you're Suzy Orman or Dave Ramsey, sort of bust your bubble, but this is the way I really think it works in the automotive industry. Now, I taught automotive for 9 years. I've been involved with fixing cars and heavy trucks for 20 years and ended up with an administrative job that allowed me to more spending power, and eventually I got away from buying and fixing my own stuff and buying new vehicles. But what I did was I applied the 50% rule of buying a car. And what that is if you look at the market and buy a vehicle, a reasonable price vehicle, at your price rather than the dealer's price. What I mean by that is, let's say you're looking at a $30,000 vehicle, like I just bought a Tiguan, Volkswagen Tiguan, and you pay $25,000 for it. If you own that car for 50% or 5 years, half of its lifetime, let's say the lifetime for a vehicle is 10 years, and you drive it for 70,000 miles, and we call that half of the vehicle's life, what you'll end up doing is owning the best half of that vehicle, the new half, because when that car gets to 10 years and 140,000 miles, there probably won't be a lot of value left on that vehicle. People don't want to buy a car with close to 150,000 miles that's 10 years old and needs work. So what you do is you buy the vehicle and you buy it at a reasonable price. You're not paying full list. Own it for the first half of its lifetime, no more than 70,000 miles. Then you're not, and sell it at that point. You'll get approximately half of your vehicle, half of the cost of that vehicle, because you didn't pay full list on it, back. And I've done this several times now. The last 3 vehicles, I've never owned a new vehicle till I was older, in my 50s. Then I started buying, conservative vehicles, a Ford Focus, a Kia Optima hybrid, back when you could buy those, or still reasonable, and now this Volkswagen Tiguan, which I didn't pay list price or close to it for any. I found cars that maybe weren't as popular as Volkswagen Tiguan, for example. Folks probably would prefer to have a Toyota RAV4. Those are 35,000. I was able to get the Tiguan for 26,000, which was several $1,000s off the list price. If you look at the used car market, what you're going to find out is the vehicles, when they're 5 years old and 60, 70,000 miles, they're literally selling those for half the price of new, especially if you, specifically if you don't pay list for those. And you can go on and do your own research. See what a $30,000, $40,000 list price vehicle costs when it's half worn out. So why would you want the second half of that? The first half, you won't have repairs. You won't pay for repairs, because most manufacturers have at least, typically they might have 50,000 mile warranty, some 100,000 mile warranty. So you don't assume any risk when you have it for the first 5 years. You're not going to need brakes, tires, spark plugs, maintenance items. You're just going to have to change the oil. Yes, you'll probably have to put a set of tires on it, 50,000 miles, that sort of thing. But you'll wear them out. Put 20,000 miles on them, still have plenty of tread when you sell the car. You won't need to put a second set on. So why not buy a car new at your price, sell it when it's half worn out, and get half of your price back, the cost of it? Well, there are add-on costs to the vehicle besides the cost of it, because you have to pay dealer fees, and you have to work on getting those costs down. Don't pay a lot of the extras. Just buy the car and minimize the added dealer costs. Don't get any add-ons, especially extended warranty that rarely pays for itself. And just tell them, hey, I'm not interested. I don't want any of that. I just want it at the lowest price. So if you buy a conservative car without a lot of all the extra options, now the Tiguan has all the options. It's got everything I want, three-row seating and everything. So I don't feel like I got cheated. But you can't buy the most popular car out there sometimes because they want full price for those. They may not come down a lot on certain Honda, Toyota products, Lexus models. They don't have to deal that much. That's why I bought the Kia when Kias weren't that popular. 100,000 mile warranty. I didn't have any associated risk. Sold it for over half of what I paid for it. Oh, I forgot to mention I had Hyundai Sonata before that. Same thing. I always got half of the price and got to drive the brand new vehicle for the first 5 years and let somebody else incur that additional price. So it's worked out very well for me. You have to go online and look. You don't want to, nothing makes you more upset than paying too much for a vehicle and then not getting your money out. You can reduce your risk, drive a new vehicle, and let somebody else worry about the second half when you're more likely to have mechanical problems, transmission, engine problems. As you know, a lot of vehicles have those sort of problems these days. It seems like even Toyota and others are running into problems they didn't have in the past related to trying to squeeze out another mile or two per gallon by using adjustable roller lifters in the engine and things like that. Do your research. I think you'll find out you'll want the first half of the vehicle, not the second half, and that'll be a knockout for you. Always drive the first half of a new vehicle. Don't buy old junk that's going to break down. The main reason this is really appropriate now is because the extreme high costs of repair on vehicles. I used to rebuild transmissions for $700-800. Now it's $10,000 to put a 9-speed transmission in a car or a truck. Engines aren't as reliable because of the massive amount of electronics and emission controls. You can't fix them reasonably anymore. You can't take the risk. So get something where you're covered with the warranty for the first half of the vehicle. Give those issues to someone else down the road. I think you'll find that Dave Ramsey and Suzy Orman were not right. They were sleeping on the job, or they just don't understand the expense of repairing vehicles these days. And of course, I repaired them for many years. I taught repair, I taught automotive, have a little idea of how expensive that's gotten. To put a catalytic converter on a car sometimes costs $2,000, so you don't want any of those problems. You want to limit your liability and risk. I hope this will be of value to you. Do your research, go out there and look, see what they're getting for 5-year-old cars with 70,000 miles on them. Check to see what the list price on there. See if you're at the halfway mark. If they're selling at the halfway mark, you're going to be surprised. They typically are selling at 50% of new, even more, and so why not get the first good half of the vehicle, let somebody else get the second half. Hope this is helpful to you. Good luck.